Hungary is taking issue with billionaire George Soros. The hedge fund manager is being criticized by his home country for supporting illegal immigration. The right-wing government is feeling the pressure amid the refugee crisis, slamming Soros for promoting liberal migrant policies. The billionaire himself has previously criticized the Hungarian government for the way it's dealing with the crisis. Soros continues to back a variety of organizations through his pro-democracy charities. The bottom line, the Hungarian government and George Soros are butting heads.
Hungarian billionaire investor George Soros has responded to fierce criticism from Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán about his views on the European refugee crisis. Orbán said last week that people like Soros are responsible for the refugee crisis and threaten the traditional European way of life. But in a speech at a conference for his foundation in Budapest, Soros praised keynote speaker Bernard Kouchner, who was the UN official in charge of the occupation of Kosovo back in 2000. Kouchner implied Orbán's policies were racist and xenophobic.
He did interfere. I visited him, and he was definitely somebody who interfered.
Kouchner criticised some European member states for not taking enough initiative during the refugee crisis.
500 or 550 millions of European people, the richest of the world, and we are unable to share with 1 or 2 million in addition. This is untrue. There is no political will but a political attitude, with nationalism coming back, with racism coming back.
Orbán says the arrival of thousands of refugees and other migrants in Europe this year from Asia, Africa and the Middle East amounts to an attack on the continent's Christian identity and is a terrorism threat.
George Soros, what does the refugee crisis in both the Mediterranean and around Calais say about the great European project?
Unfortunately, it tells us that it's failing. A couple of years ago, I wrote a book, The Tragedy of the European Union. It was a prediction then. It has become a reality. And the plight of the asylum seekers is a chapter in that tragedy.
Now, you have written about the contrast between Europe accepting millions of refugees from Eastern Europe after the Second World War, after communism, and now far fewer, but they are not of European stock and they are being rejected. What do you do about it?
Yes. Well, you need a unified European migration policy. You now have 28 different countries with different policies, and some are directly contradictory to each other. And that is, it has created a chaos, and that is what's turning public opinion against the migrants who are themselves the victims, who deserve help. And instead of that, they are turned into illegal position, and they are desperate, as the situation in Calais demonstrates.
Do you think the ethnicity, the race of the people who are trying to get into Europe is part of the issue?
Yes, definitely. I was myself an asylum seeker, and I was treated very well. I went to England. I asked for asylum. I got it. I became an Anglophile, and unfortunately, the European Union is now facing the opposition of the members, of which Britain is very much at fault, because Britain has opted out of any participation in the solution of this issue. But you can't isolate yourself. The easy answer is withdraw, protect yourself. But as the situation in Calais demonstrates, you can't do that.
But I can hear,
we are all...
I can hear people saying, hang on a minute, our population has increased by 2, 3, 4 million since the Eastern Bloc became free. How many more people can a small island take? That is the question on many people's lips.
Yes, but you also have a declining birth rate, and you need, for a flourishing economy, you need some growth. And it has to be replaced by migrants from outside. So there is a need for migrants, and there is a need for growth as well. But that's where the problem is